Alrighty, we're back with Chapter 14 of the Transcendent series by Lisa Beeson. We left off with Adam and Ari. I forget what her fake last name is. Arriving at Adam and his sister's farmhouse. And she cried herself to sleep now that she's gotten a chance to rest and take in everything that's happened to her thus far. Ari knew she was dreaming right away as she walked through a strange, white, swirling bank of fog into what looked like the beautiful haven of her old backyard. She realized that her hair was long again, and she was wearing one of her favorite outfits that she had left behind in Georgia. All the colors around her were soft and saturated, making her feel like she was inside a Thomas Kincaid painting. It didn't feel like her normal dreams, though. It felt more like she was an outsider looking in. She heard someone walking up behind her. Quickly turning towards the sound, she saw that it was Absalom. She jumped back and held up her hands ready to fend him off. "You're not going to push me off another cliff, are you?" His eyes twinkled in amusement. "No, little one. You're not here for a lesson. You're here for him." He pointed over to the fountain in the middle of the yard, and there sat Hector, with his back towards them, in her favorite spot on the edge of the fountain. He was leaning over with his head in his hand. The other hand was petting the ever-faithful Roosevelt, who was sitting beside him trying to give him comfort. But Roosevelt wasn't the old dog he was when he passed away a year ago. He looked like he did when Ari had first come to live with the Rileys. She missed that dog so much. It was so hard for her to see them sitting there so close within her reach when she knew it wasn't real. She turned back to Absalom. "What's the point? This isn't real. It's just a dream. This is just cruel," she said, trying to hold back her tears of frustration and heartache. "Yes, it is a dream. But it's not your dream. It's his. That's why your hair is long again. It's how he sees you in his mind." "But that's crazy. How can I be in his dream?" Absalom looked intently into her eyes to make sure she knew he was speaking the truth. "You have the ability to dream walk. You inherited it from your parents, among many other abilities. This is your chance to say goodbye. Take it." She felt the truth of his words flow through her so that there was no doubt. She was a dream walker, and this was her opportunity to say the things she never had the chance to say in real life. Looking over at Hector, sitting in her old spot on the edge of the fountain, trying to glean comfort from their old dog, her heart broke for him. She wondered if he dreamt of this often. "I'm so sorry, Hector." Absalom lightly placed his hand on her shoulder. "Give him solace, little one. He has the potential to become a great leader one day, but not if he's dragged down by guilt and grief. Just remember, the less he knows about what really happened to you, the safer he'll be." Ari nodded and started walking towards Hector. She choked back a sob. How could she say goodbye forever to her own brother? How could she give him solace when she could feel her own heart breaking into a million pieces? As she came closer, Dream Roosevelt heard her and nudged Hector to get his attention. Hector looked up, trying to find out what Roosevelt wanted him to see. When his eyes fell on her, he stood up, the tears he'd been shedding streaking down his face. "Kira," he whispered, not believing that she was really standing there in front of him. She tried to smile reassuringly at him, but she could feel the tears running down her own cheeks. "Hi, brother." Not being able to hold back anymore, they ran to embrace each other, holding on so tight that they could barely breathe. "I miss you so much, Kira. I never thought I'd see you again," he said, his voice muffled by her hair. Even though he was 4 years older, she had almost caught up to him in height. I miss you too, Hector, she said, resting her chin on his shoulder. He let out a shaky breath. I'm so sorry, Kira. It's all my fault. If I hadn't stopped to talk to that girl, I wouldn't have been late, and you wouldn't have died. His voice broke on the last word. No! Ari pulled back, taking his face in her hands, making sure he was looking in her eyes. None of this is your fault. Do you understand me? But I'm your big brother. I should have protected you. He stepped back and began pacing, unable to accept her assurances. God, Kira, what happened to you was so awful. There was barely anything left of you in that canal. The only way they knew it was you was because they found some hair on a piece of your school uniform. None of that is your fault, Hector. There was nothing you could have done. You have to believe me. And look, I'm fine now. I promise. In fact, I'm in paradise. She knew what she had said that She knew when she said that he'd think she'd meant heaven instead of a horse farm in Arkansas. But if it made him feel better, that's all that mattered. My air conditioner is having problems. Really? Is it beautiful? He looked at her with hope in his eyes, wanting to know that she was really in a better place. Yeah, what I've seen of it, she hedged. She stepped closer and put her hands on his shoulders. Hector, please don't let this misguided guilt consume you. Promise me that you won't lose who you are. I can't stand it if the smart, talented, kind-hearted boy who accepted me as his sister from day one was anything less than the remarkable man he was meant to be. Please, honor my memory by living up to your full potential. He looked at her sadly, warring within himself. Do it, or I'll be the most annoying little sister in history and haunt you forever, she said jokingly before wiping away her tears. He managed a lopsided smile. Oh, goodness. He managed a lopsided smile. All right, I'll try. Promise, she demanded, sticking out her left pinky finger towards him. He smiled a full smile and grabbed her pinky with his own. As they held on, they crossed their hearts with their other hand, making a pinky promise like they used to when they were younger. Nothing broke a pinky promise. Absalom cleared his throat, grabbing Ari's attention, motioning that it was time to go. Hector noticed Ari look over her shoulder. What? What is it? She looked back at Hector. Apparently he couldn't see Absalom, who was standing a little ways behind her. I have to go, Hector, she explained. He grabbed her hand, trying to prevent her from leaving. No, please, don't go yet. She gave him another tight hug. I don't want to, but I have to. She wanted to stay in this backyard with him forever, but that wasn't possible. They both needed to move forward. It took everything she had to let go and step back. I love you so much, Hector. Tell Mom, Dad, Sadie, and Jack that I love them too. He nodded and said that he would. And even if they don't believe you, tell Mom and Dad that I'm okay, and that I'm so thankful to them for giving me a family, a home, and a wonderful life. I will, he promised. Carrie, you should have heard Dad give your eulogy. He said that losing another one of his children was one of the hardest things he had ever had to go through. But he knew that he and Mom were so blessed to have been entrusted with two angels. And even though they were only on Earth for a short time, their light will forever shine in the hearts of others. Oh, Daddy. Ari broke down again, but Hector held her up and let her cry on his shoulder. I love you, Kira. You'll always be my little sister. Forever, he said, kissing her head. And you'll always be my big brother, she said, as she reluctantly let go and backed away. Goodbye, Hector. I love you. And remember your promise. She walked backwards, trying to memorize every last thing about him. And then she turned and walked through the white, swirling fog into the darkness of her own dreamless sleep. Oh, all right. That was the short, quick, emotional chapter 14. Oh, I need to, let's see. Oh, yes. The next chapter is much longer. So we're going to cut this video as short as it is and take a break, clear the nostrils, quite frankly. And my dogs are barking, so I better go see what they're up to. And I'll be back to do chapter 15. The book only gets more cuckoo banana splits from here, guys. Just you wait and see. I'll see you next time. Bye.